To the success of this sit-in that came out of Greensboro, North Carolina sit-in with the Bennett girls, who were leaders at the time. Gloria Brown, Gwen Rice were there when we didn't have many people coming out. Sit-ins have been existing for some time. And attendance kind of waned, but you could count on the Bennett girls to be there. And you could count on Gwen Mackle. I share something unique with Gwen. The local gendarme put us in a car they called the Black Mariah, and they carted our butts to jail. I think there were 30 of us. April 45? But that was our badge of courage, because that uncertainty that existed then, you didn't know how long they were going to keep you in jail. Maybe 1 day, 2 days, maybe 6 months. But Gwen went to jail for her beliefs. She's always been from Chicago. Not really, but her home is there now. She has earned a master's degree from the University of Chicago. Please join me in welcoming tonight and honoring Gwendolyn Mackle Rice.
Thank you very much. To the members of the Board of International Civil Rights Center and Museum, and my cohorts in the movement, my brothers, the Green World 4, at least the 3 remaining, but certainly in memory of the 4th. Thank you. I'd like to just take a moment of personal privilege to introduce my family. 6 of us came down from Chicago today. I think I got that right. 1 from New York, and then we have 2 from here. Could you stand, please, family? And my Bennett family also. My Bennett sisters. Two of my family are right here. These 2 gentlemen here with the cameras. I didn't realize they weren't over there. I accept this award in memory of the 5 individuals who had and continue to have a critical impact on my life. First, my parents, Dr. Ollie and Mrs. Rosetta Mackle, who because of their work and their stand for justice and their unswerving commitment to their communities in Louisiana and Mississippi, that's where I lived before I came to Chicago, in the 40s and 50s, taught my siblings and me by word and example to take a stand for what is right at home, at school, at work, and in play. To Dr. Edward Emmons, one of my sociology professors at Bennett, who taught us the value and history of protest and challenged us on issues of race, racism, and civil rights, and exposed us to other civil rights leaders. To Dr. Hobart Jarrett, my English and humanities professor, who worked tirelessly to engage the Bennett community and the Greensboro Citizens Association in a highly successful effort to register community residents to vote through what was known as Operation Doorknob. Incidentally, Dr. Jarrett was one of the great Wiley college debaters, so keep that in mind as you see the movie in my meeting. Now, most especially to Dr. Willoughby Blair, president of Bennett College during the time of the sit-in movement, who met with us, who advised us on our strategy, who encouraged us, and who reassured our parents that the college had our backs, as we would say in today's vernacular. She brought homework to our sisters who were jailed, and who also, even before the sit-in, brought Dr. Martin Luther King to speak at Bennett when no one else would. Dr. Blair encouraged us to, in her words, take our dignity and a sense of mission. And I just want to add one thing. I remember her calling us into her office and saying, girls, make sure you don't go downtown without those A&T fellows. So she always wanted to make sure we were protected. Right? I also accept this award on behalf of all of my men college sisters, past and present, who as early as 1937 led a successful boycott to protest cutting out scenes depicting blacks on an equal basis in Greensboro movie theaters, who in 1957 mounted a test case against the Greensboro Recreation Department and were later defended in court by the late illustrious Constance Baker Mosley. To my contemporaries, including our own new mayor, Yvonne Jeffries Johnson, who strategized, marched, protested, and were jailed in the major cities waves, theater protests, and other movements of the 60s, and for those who this academic year journeyed to Louisiana on behalf of the Gen 6 and to West Virginia on behalf of Megan Williams. Friends, in the words of Mark Morial, President and CEO of the National Urban League, the fight to sit at a lunch counter was an important fight. The fight to be able to afford what was served at the lunch counter is an even more important fight today. And the fight to own the lunch counter is the 21st century fight. In whatever manner we choose to fight or work for change, for justice, for equity, and those ways are many. Let us be constantly mindful of the unintended institutional and systemic consequences of our work. We must support the lunch counters and other businesses that we own. We must ensure that our communities are not destroyed by gentrification, that as some of us rise, that we don't help to create a permanent underclass, that our children are not spending the beginning and the end of their school days being bused to integrate other schools, while the schools in our own communities fail. We might have had that problem in Greensboro, we do in Chicago. And I could give countless other examples. I'm sure you know them well. I was a young woman of the 60s. Now, a few years older, I am still in the 60s. And all of us, especially you of my generation, in the words of author Margaret Walker, let a second generation full of courage issue forth. Let a people loving freedom come to growth, and let us do all that we can to support them. I dedicate this award to our courageous next generation, including my grandchildren and your grandchildren too. Again, thank you.